Do you ever feel like there's something more God wants you to do, but you can't quite put your finger on it? In this inspiring conversation, Vicki Baker shares why so many women over 50 struggle to recognize their calling and the hidden spiritual chokeholds that can keep us stuck, fearful, and doubting ourselves. She explains how writing can become a powerful pathway to healing, freedom, and deeper intimacy with God. Welcome to the Jesus People Sisterhood podcast, a place created just for you, the single Christian woman over 50 who knows there is still so much more ahead. I'm your host, Janine Jordan, Christian confidence coach and leadership mentor based in Alberta, Canada.
And I'm your co-host, Ellie McCormick, a flag certified coach, Christian longevity coach, and life coach in the United States. And if you've ever felt a little overlooked, a little forgotten, or quietly wondered, God, what does the rest of my life look like from here? We understand because we've been there too. We know what it's like to carry dreams that haven't fully unfolded yet, to navigate the unique challenges of singlehood, and to wrestle with questions about purpose, health, and the future. And honestly, we couldn't find a space online that truly spoke to us, so we created one.
This is Jesus People Sisterhood, a place where you are not invisible, you are valuable. Where you are not past your prime, you are stepping into one of the most powerful, meaningful seasons of your life.
Here you'll find real conversations, deep encouragement, and a circle of women who love Jesus and are walking this road right alongside you. Because you carry wisdom, you carry strength, and your life still holds incredible purpose.
So join us as we talk about what really matters, building meaningful relationships, strengthening your health, and growing deeper in your walk with God. And we share tons of valuable information relevant to our sisterhood. We'll share stories, explore life-giving ideas, hear inspiring voices, and yes, have a few laughs along the way. So wherever you're listening from, whether you're in your kitchen or on a walk or sitting in that quiet place, just know you belong here, and let's walk this journey together. Hello, Ellie. How are things going down there?
It's going okay in the States. How's Canada?
We are experiencing some lovely weather today, which is very nice. It's been very wet, but now we're having a bit of a dry spell. What's new and exciting?
I wanted to talk about this couple,
Mhm.
Christian indie band, and it's a couple because they came up on my Facebook feed and they were like a video of them playing music and it said something about having calming music. I didn't really understand it, and we're a Christian band. And I looked at them and I said, "Oh, I've got like five or more people that I'm friends with on Facebook that follow these people, and one of them is Janine Jordan."
Hmm. So you were stalking me.
So I'm like,
Okay.
okay, so Janine knows about these people. I started looking into it. What do you know about? And they're called Mountains in the Sea. What do you know
Mountains.
about them?
Well, I think that I just liked listening to them. I like to, if I like the music, what I'll do is I'll like the Facebook post and I try to encourage those young people that are starting out or maybe they're not that young, but people that are in the business that are Christians and I like their music and I just thought it was a little bit different. And so yeah, I felt inspired to follow them and to listen to some of their things and I thought their music was beautiful. But you have delved a little bit further into that and tell me what you've learned.
Yeah, so the whole thing was whatever this video or reel or whatever it is that showed up on my Facebook was
Mm,
talking about how they play music. It's supposed to be calming and healing,
mm,
heals your DNA or something. And I'm like, okay, this is This is new. I never heard of this. And I just looked up one of their reels. It says a 2018 study on brain tissue exposed to 528 hertz found it reduced the concentration of reactive oxygen species in cells, which inherently protects DNA from oxidative damage. We record our music in a tuning that hits the 528 hertz frequency. Here's what this means. And then it goes on to say, oxidative stress accelerates aging and acts as a primary driver for chronic conditions like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and neurodegenerative disorders. Less oxidative stress is a good thing. Music in standard tuning basically never hits that frequency. So God began to lead us to the 528 hertz tuning, which is A at 444 hertz. That's the key, I guess the key of A. Several
Mhm.
years back, and we switched our music over in 2021. We figured maybe it would be helpful to some people and help counteract some of the potentially negative frequencies we are all exposed to every day, like Wi-Fi. The science is really fascinating, but to us it was really an act of obedience when we didn't understand all the ramifications. We just really felt God was leading us that way.
Hmm.
I've always been so drawn to the life of George Washington Carver. He asked God to show him the secrets of the universe, and God basically said, "You can't handle that, but I'll teach you about the peanut." From that, God taught him hundreds of uses of the peanut and basically saved the economy of most of America through it. It's a wild testimony. I really believe that there's much potential locked up in every one of God's creations: music, plants, food. If we let Him lead us, no telling the discoveries that could be made. So, well,
Mhm.
this is pretty interesting. And then I just looked up the whole thing. It says, so they say their songs are tuned to A equals 444 hertz.
Mhm.
Is primarily, this is not according to them, this is AI, for its acoustic brightness and for its association with spiritual healing.
Hmm.
Because 444 hertz places the C note at 528 hertz, which is what they mentioned,
Mhm.
proponents believe it promotes deep cellular repair and emotional balance. Additionally, many European orchestras naturally use this slightly sharper tuning to achieve a more exciting sound. And why 444 hertz is used, it's often called the angelic frequency or miracle tone. The associated C equals 528 hertz is widely acclaimed to reduce stress and increase oxytocin levels.
Hmm.
So we all know, I hope we know, that oxytocin is the top hormone, the happy hormone, the well-being hormone, right?
Mhm.
Anyway, I just thought that was really interesting. And then there's this Christian band. So all you guys out there, I don't know if you listen to them, if you will sense calm and healing, both physical and spiritual, but it's an idea. What drew you to them? They're an indie rock band, right?
Yeah, I think so. I really just like their music and they present it as just being very genuine, authentic. And so that was sort of my draw to them and I like the sound. So having a little bit more background from you, a little bit more study, and now I know that you're what you're doing on your weekends, following me along. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. But really,
Well,
ladies, check it out. Hey?
I'm always about health and healings. So the idea, I guess, is if you
Mhm.
listen to their music, it would be healing and healthy,
Mhm. Yeah. And maybe help you strengthen your spiritual walk.
right? Because they're
Interesting.
Christian. So that's interesting. So
Mhm.
anyway, putting them out there if anybody's interested. They're mountains in the sea, and you can find them on Facebook. They probably have a website, but I don't know what it is. Skimming through their Facebook, it looks like it's a couple with three kids, maybe, and they travel around the U.S. in an RV and they do concerts.
Mhm. And
So,
she has great pink hair. So there you go.
yeah. Okay, well, I guess we should get to the episode.
I think so too. Come on.
Welcome, sisters, to this episode of the Jesus People Sisterhood podcast, the only podcast specifically for single Christian women over 50. Today, we give a shout out to our sisters in Montana. Thank you for listening. We want everyone to get to know our listeners, and so we'll be doing listener spotlight episodes from time to time. If you would like to share your testimony or what the Lord is doing in your life currently, or if you are leading in ministry or another field and would like to tell us about that, for a Jesus Sister Excelling in the Last Third episode, please contact us at support@jesuspeoplesisterhood.com. We would love to have our listeners come and share with the sisterhood. And now, let's get to today's episode.
Our guest today is Vicki Baker. If you've ever felt a nudge to write a book, share your story, start a ministry, or step into a new season of purpose, but you've talked yourself out of it, this episode is for you. Vicki offers practical first steps for women who know there is more inside of them, but aren't sure where to begin. Most importantly, she reminds us that God is not finished with us yet. Your age is not a limitation, your story matters, and the calling God placed on your life is still worth pursuing.
Vicki L. Baker is a Kingdom Midwife, best-selling author, podcast host, and story breakthrough coach. She's the author of the book Chosen, Chokeholds, and Commissioned, and the host of the podcast From Pain to Paper, Breaking Spiritual Chokeholds to Release Your Untold Story Through Writing. As a Kingdom Midwife, Vicki helps Christian women over 50 who have never written before break through fear, silence, and years of unspoken pain so they can release their story, experience healing, and birth what God placed inside of them through writing. Through coaching, mentoring, and spirit-led conversations, she creates safe spaces for women to find their voice, break spiritual chokeholds, and boldly walk in their God-given calling.
Welcome, Vicki. So
Well,
nice to see you here today.
thank you. Thank you. I'm honored and I'm so glad to be able to be a part of the show today as well.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you as our guest. And maybe you could start us off with telling our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Vicki Baker and I am a Kingdom Midwife. And you're probably saying, well, what is that? I didn't know what it was either. I started out as a coach and I was writing and I remember just the Holy Spirit was just quickening me and I was listening to God and he was saying, you know, a Kingdom Midwife. And I said, what is that? I said, I heard about midwives, but not really, paying too much attention to what they do. So I looked it up and he said, yeah, this is what you're going to do in the kingdom for your seasoned sisters who are 50 and above. You're going to help them birth out their purpose in this season. And I'm like, wow. And he said, you're going to do it by helping them break spiritual chokeholds. So this is where God has me. That's the assignment that I have at this time. That's what I'm doing. Even though I don't have to be certified, but I do have some certifications in life coaching as a master business coach, executive leadership coach, and of course, the life coaching. And I'm a ordained minister, a nana. And so, yeah, and an author. Yeah, can't forget that. So I'm an author. So but besides all the titles, I am just your seasoned sister in Christ and just helping my seasoned sisters know not too late for you, honey. Get out the rocking chair. Mm-mm.
We agree with
Amen.
that. Amen. Amen. So we're gonna get right into some questions that we have for you today. What do you believe is the biggest reason women over 50 struggle to recognize their calling?
One of the reasons I believe is because as women, we have all the hats. We wear all the hats. We can do everything. And we often do everything for everyone else first. And so by the time we get to 50, maybe those who've had children and the kids are out of the house and, life shifts, it's a little bit different for us now. We feel tired. And sometimes we feel it's too late to start something new. The enemy gets in your head. And so this is where the struggle is because God is saying, okay, I'm resurrecting that dream. It's not dead. It was just asleep. Now it's time to, I'm calling for it now. And we'll look back, oh, well, if it was 20 years ago, I know I could have done this or you look at your income or you look at all the things the enemy feeds you in your head right after God says, this is what I want you to do. And you get excited for a moment, like, oh, wow, God, okay. And immediately, here we go. Here we go. Here's the enemy with all the doubts. And so we have the fight. And it's hard at our age because we don't move like we used to move. And what I mean by that, maybe when we were younger, we were more risk takers. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. But when we get seasoned, we're kind of like, some of us retire from the job and we think that means that we've retired from the assignment God gave us, and that's not the truth. You never retire from the assignment. So there's a lot of things we don't know our purpose, or we feel we don't know. The enemy have us looking for a purpose that was never lost. That part. That's
Mm.
why you never find it, because it wasn't lost. It just have to be uncovered.
Mm.
You were born
Wow.
with it. It never left you. And we just have to take all the hats and uncover the purpose he has for us. So,
Wow. Because
yeah.
I know so many women, older women, and
Mhm.
you ask them, okay, so what do you think God's calling is on your life? Or what do you think your purpose
Yeah.
is? And they don't know. And it is really hard because you're thinking, I'm at this age and I don't know.
Mhm.
Right.
What do I want to be when I grow up? Kind of thing. Only
Yep.
that
Mhm.
you've been a grown up for 40 or 50 years.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Or they
that's
become like disillusioned, or they're just kind of beaten down by some things, and they just feel like out of energy, and out of, maybe even out of that closeness in the personal relationship with the Lord, right? So some of those things may have been a struggle at times too. And when we
hmm
talk to ladies, or else they just want to sit on the couch and they really don't want to get moving either sometimes, right? And
that's
they're
true.
just,
Yeah.
it's just like we just need our sisters to support us and say, hey, you're not done yet, right? You can
Ex
move on, right? Yeah.
exactly. We are not done yet. And that's why, to your point, Janine, that was a good point there, because it's going to take effort.
Mm. Yeah.
We're going to have to push through. And a lot of us know that God is stirring something up. We may not know exactly what it is, but it's easier to push it to the side and say, oh, it's just too late, and you ignore it. But it keeps coming back because you're here for an assignment. Once we understand that we're not here for ourselves, someone else's breakthrough could be tied up to our obedience
Right.
to what God has called us to do. And like you said, some of us are just so worn out. So many women are just worn down and just like, I mean, they just don't have the effort,
Yeah.
or they feel they don't. Because see, that's all the enemy. There's no way God will call you to do something and then tell you you can't do it because it's too late.
Right.
That doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
And so one of the things we have to do is posture ourselves. We have to make time to get in the presence of God.
Mm.
That's the part to finding out what is my purpose? What is it that I need to be doing in this season? Now, we may have done things before, but seasons change.
Hmm.
Mm.
And sometimes the assignment changes.
Right.
And so, what worked for us before in that
Mm.
season is not what's going to work for us now. It's like the old wine in the new wineskin.
Mm.
And God's stretching us, and we don't want to be stretched. That's a
Mm.
whole nother level of faith. Like, God, I just got here and I just got comfortable here. And now you're calling me to do something else. Like, you got to be kidding. Wait, let me get another sign. Let me keep praying on this. What we tell ourselves. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for another sign from the Lord, honey. Lord,
Mhm.
show me this. And he done showed you 5 signs, and we still waiting for another one.
That's right.
Because
How
we
many
don't,
fleeces, right? How
yeah,
many fleeces?
yeah, exactly, exactly. Because we
Right.
know deep inside, you
Yeah.
know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Ladies, let's talk about our private Facebook group for senior housing and co-living. Finding the right living situation later in life can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be a solo journey. That's why we created a private group just for this. A supportive community where single Christian women, 50 plus, can explore house sharing and co-living options together. What's it for? This group is a place to post your housing needs and wants, whether you're looking for a housemate, hoping to share a home, searching for a room to rent, considering a tiny house, or exploring some other living arrangement that fits your season of life. It's also where landlords and renters can connect directly. Why join? If you've ever wished you could find housemates who actually share your values and faith, this is the place. You'll be connecting with other single Christian women over 50 who understand exactly what you're looking for: companionship, safety, affordability, and a home that feels right.
And you don't have to be a single Christian woman over 50 to join this group. If you have a room, home, apartment, or rental property available for a JPS sister, you're welcome here too. Singles, couples, and organizations with housing to offer are all invited to be part of this community. And here's the truth. A group like this simply can't succeed without a critical mass of people. The more members we have, both women looking for housing and those with rooms or rentals to offer, the more likely it is that real connections and matches happen. Right now, we don't have enough people in the group, and that makes it hard for members to find what they're looking for. Growing this group isn't optional. It's essential to it working at all. So here's what we're asking. If you're looking for housing, join us. If you know someone with a room, home, or rental property to offer, invite them too. And if this group could bless someone in your life, please share it with them. The link to our private JPS Senior Housing Facebook group can be found in the show notes. I think there, for the single Christian woman over 50, for our listeners, a lot of us, kind of like what Janine said, is that started out probably with one dream for marriage and family, and whether we're widowed or we're divorced or maybe we never married, but that for most of us, that was our dream. And
Mhm.
then that's now gone away, whether for whatever reason that we're single. And so I think that's part of it too, where you're like, well, that was my dream. That was my whole focus. That's what I was
Yeah,
living
that's
for.
right.
Now what do I do?
Hmm.
And so it is looking okay. That was my assignment in that season. What is my assignment now?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So you talked a little bit, Vicki, about like some things that might be a chokehold on you going forward. But could you address some more of those spiritual maybe chokeholds that you kind of hold us back from doing the things that we're supposed to be doing?
Yeah. How I got even into the chokehold thing, I didn't even know they existed.
Mm.
When God showed me this in my life, I'm like, what are you talking? I mean, our conversation is just, God, what are you talking to me about? That's how I talk to him.
Yeah.
I'm like, and so I was writing my book, and I was getting ready to write, and I got to a section and I started to feel a transformation. I'm like, God, what is this? And it was about my business, and to help some of the sisters who may be thinking, just a little sidebar here, that it's too late. I started my coaching. I wasn't called into this coaching business to 57.
Oh,
And I'm 68 and gonna be 69 in September. So
oh,
that's why it's not too late. I mean, I'm walking this out. I'm not saying anything I've known and I studied and all this stuff. I'm living this out. But
wow.
in that is where I didn't even realize I was dealing with even rejection. So I had a question. Someone asked me, so why don't you post anymore on social media? Why don't you post? I don't see any of your posts on social media, right? Because I'm,
Mm.
a coach and mentor and all this stuff. And I always had this fear and it challenged me. And like, I don't know. I just didn't want to, I would go so far and stop. I feel like, oh, that's too much. And when I dug deep, just to make it short, when I dug deep, it was tied to rejection. People
Mm.
not maybe liking it, or people not making a comment, or I was afraid to put myself out there. And
Mm.
so the Lord had me go deeper, and it was tied up to a word agreement that someone spoke over me years ago in the church, in leadership, because I was respecting their authority position. And I was told at that particular time that it wasn't my time. because
Mm.
I was starting a women's group and they said, oh, no, you need to stop that. That's not your time. It's not your time yet. And I agreed because, I respected the position and the
Right.
authority.
Hmm.
Well, God showed me that word that I agreed to was still in effect
Oh.
because death and life is in the power of the tongue.
Hmm.
And in Isaiah it tells you the words that proceed out of our mouth will not return void. In another version, it says it will complete the assignment given. So even though I didn't speak those words, I co-signed on it. I agreed with what was being said. And so that
Hmm.
spiritual chokehold was there. And that's when God started to show me. And he said, this is a spiritual chokehold that's been holding you back all this time because
Uh,
undercover, subconsciously, it's never your time.
hmm.
It will never be your time until you break it. So
Mm.
you had to renounce what I had announced on myself. And from that, it started peeling layers. There was rejection.
Hmm.
I didn't want to deal with rejection. And then it started people pleasing. All that was tied up into that because I was told no, now. So I'm pleasing. Oh, is it my time yet? I'm waiting for people to validate me.
Hmm.
Can I do what God told me to do now? I mean, it makes to me, I mean, when I say that, it's like, how crazy could I have been to put people over what God said,
Hmm. Yeah.
waiting for a validation from another creation instead of the creator. He didn't already told me. And that's what's stopping a lot of us,
Hmm.
especially us seasoned sisters 50 and over. We know we're waiting for somebody else to approve what God has already told us. That's
Hmm.
disobedience. And because it's disobedience, we have given place for the enemy to come in and put another chokehold to hold us back
Hmm.
because we're not being obedient. So we have these windows and these spaces that are open. So when we speak about, there's so many, and in my book I talk about 10 of the most common, but they're different layers. They show up as emotions.
Hmm.
So we have feelings that we've learned to live with, like fear, intimidation, insecure. We've learned, oh, I'm so insecure. We've learned to live with this. And these are the ones I call the undercover
Hmm.
spiritual chokeholds. They're not the obvious ones.
Hmm.
These are the ones that we have taken on as ours.
Hmm.
These are our emotions. This is how I feel. And the second layer God revealed to me is the reasons. We have reasons why we won't do it, and we're operating in silence with these reasons. It's always a reason, it's always an excuse. It's always, oh, I can't do that because why? I can't do that because my bank account, I don't have this much money. Well, God supplies all your needs. So is
Hmm.
it a need for what he's calling you to do? If it is, he supplies that, not your bank account. So
Mm.
it's a whole mindset shift of 50 years or more of us having all of these thoughts in our mind. And so the last layer God was showing me was behavior. Oh, my family always did this. This is the way I've always done it. God's trying to do a new thing in you. But no, that's how we always do. You won't stretch yourself to do the unfamiliar. So that's how these chokeholds start operating. It reminded me of the show. I don't know if you guys seen it, Undercover Boss, where the boss goes
Yep.
in and disguises himself
Yep.
as an employee or whatever to see what's happening in the business. The enemy disguises himself. We already know he comes as a disguises himself like an angel of light.
Hmm.
So these chokeholds camouflage themselves in our lives, and we think they're habits. It's just like, oh, it's just my personality. But you're a new creation in Christ.
Right.
Old things pass away, behold, all things become new. That's your former self. So
Oh, no.
It reminds me of a teaching I heard some years ago, probably from more than one person, about lies that we believe, and that usually it's something that happened, or more than one thing that happened in our childhood. And there was a lie that we believed at that time, even though we don't consciously realize it.
Mm-hmm.
but something happened, just kind of like
Mm-hmm.
what you described of when your pastor said it's
Mhm.
not your time. Something in your childhood happened and
Mm-hmm.
it gave you a message. And it's like when you believe that lie, it's like you shook hands with Satan and agreed
Mm-hmm.
that you're going to believe that lie. And then it holds
Mm-hmm.
us back, yeah, through
Mm-hmm.
life until
Mm-hmm.
we uncover that and say that's not true.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. I refer to that as a stolen identity.
Mm,
That
Yeah.
the
yeah.
enemy has stolen our identity. We just don't know who we are. And like to your point, Ellie, in the beginning when you was talking about the different ways, I would say women are single could have been because of, the dream past or widows or, different various reasons that women are single. And so when that happens, you think about the identity. We may know we're daughters, but are we walking in the authority? See, the enemy knows
Mhm.
who you
Yeah.
are, and he knows when we walk in that full authority, we're a threat to his kingdom. He has no more rule, but we have to know. So sometimes we have, I call it the spiritual amnesia is what he gives us. That's a spiritual chokehold. Like, who am I now that these things haven't happened? Who am I behind this mask, behind my smile? Who, who am I? I know I'm a daughter of the King. I know I'm a Christian. I'm saved and all the things, but there's still a missing piece. There's still a void there. And until we really sit in the presence of God and have ask him to show, show me the assignment, show me who I am, and you start to speak this over your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when the things start to change.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with Buc-ee's. It's just they may have them in Oklahoma, but it's a store. It's originated in Texas and they're spreading out in other states now. But
Hmm.
they used to sell a t-shirt for women and it said the motto, I want to make sure I get it right. It's something similar to I want to be the kind of woman that when my boots hit the floor in the morning, Satan says, "Oh no, she's awake."
Yes, yes.
And I just I was like, that's what I want to be. That's what we should all be, right?
Yes. Oh,
Mhm.
she up now. Oh, yes, I'm up
They
now.
they're trembling, right?
Yep, boots on the ground.
Yeah, okay. Well, we heard about that in Canada for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
I don't know what a Buc-ee's is, but I agree. Yep. That's
Yeah.
great. And I think there are so many women working, like walking around in less than their potential. And just and they know that there's something missing, that there's a lot missing. And I'm so encouraged by what you have to say, Vicky. Yeah, it's just, when are we going to just throw off everything and let the Lord work in us the way that He wants to? Because it's so easy when we get older that
Yes.
we see patterns and we think this is how the ways things are going to go when we're figuring things out. But wow, when you open up into my life, then all of a sudden things do change and things do happen, and you're just surprised, right? Just by
Yeah.
by the joy, like C.S. Lewis, surprised by the joy of it, right? And the ability to renew. So love that. Love your message, Vicky.
Thank you. Thank you.
For the sake of time, we're stopping the recording here. We'll pick up where we left off next week.
Hey, sister, before you go, thank you for being here with us. If you were encouraged by today's episode, would you take a moment to follow or subscribe to the podcast? That way, every new episode finds you right where you are. And if you feel led, leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts helps more women just like you discover this sisterhood. We would love for you to come join us in our free private Facebook group, the Jesus People Sisterhood Community, and keep the connection going.
And we also have a Jesus People Sisterhood senior housing group if you're exploring co-living and new possibilities for this season. You can connect with us at Jesus People Sisterhood on Facebook or visit us individually for Janine at riseupcoachingandconsulting.com and for Ellie at christianlongevity.com. And just a quick reminder, this podcast is for informational purposes and not professional advice. Our prayer is that this podcast blesses you. Until next time, stay connected, reach out, and welcome another sister in.